Hello and welcome to the cover letter, lesson 2. Danielle here with Above Average University. In this lesson, you will learn how to create a cover letter. You will also learn about an alternative to a traditional cover letter called a biography. I've actually used a biography for the last couple years and have gotten great feedback, and I wanted to show it with all of you. And I want you guys to know, when is it time to create a new cover letter versus when is it okay to just change out the company names and use the same cover letter. First, let's talk about why cover letters are important. Well, a few things. One, when applying online, your application is sometimes not complete if you don't have a cover letter. You will automatically be pushed to the do not reply pile, and we all want to get to that interview pile. If you already have them made, it will save you time and stress when it is time for you to go ahead and apply for jobs. And we all know when we're looking for a new job, whether we are already fired or whether we are given a notice or whether we aren't and we're just looking for another job, you want to apply to as many jobs as you can so that you are able to get the likelihood of being called back higher. So if you already have the cover letters on deck in your arsenal, you're able to choose your direction versus being chosen. And it's also best to have a few industry-specific cover letters already ready. So let's dive into cover letters. It's best to have cover letters updated. If your cover letter doesn't have your most recent job, position, or big accolade or project completed that is going to make you stand out, you need to get on that and update your cover letter. You also need to have multiple cover letters prepared. Have multiple copies ready for you. You want to have at least 3 or 4, especially if you are going into an interview specifically. You want to have the copies so that you can go ahead and hit this interview out the park. And looking and being perceived as being organized and detail-oriented is never a bad thing. You also want to have multiple cover letters prepared that are industry specific. You want to have a cover letter that showcases that you are into finance or marketing or sports, and even more detailed. Say that you want to do marketing. Well, why are you interested in doing marketing for sports marketing? Or why are you interested in doing finance marketing? Or why are you interested in doing marketing for consumer packaged goods? You want to use your cover letter to showcase to the job why you are interested in this industry and this job. A resume shows that you are qualified in your skills, and it highlights your skills. And although you have that profile section that can make it industry specific, your cover letter reiterates and knocks out the park why you are applying for the job you are applying for and why you are perfect for the job that you're applying for. To appear that you are perfect for it, it has to be industry specific, and you have to include the job's name in the title that you're applying for in the cover letter. For me, I have a standard cover letter, but I also have a biography. And in that biography, I have 4 or 5 different variations just ready to go. Before, it was for when I'm applying for jobs, I wanted to have them already ready. Now it's for contracts. Either way, I still need this cover letter because people are vetting me. What's in it? So for the cover letter, you want to address the receiver, highlight the skills that you have and how you are perfect for this job. You also want to highlight past achievements as they relate to the job and the industry. Achievements can be certificates, accolades, classes that you've taken, projects that you've loved, projects that you've completed on the job and in school, depending on how relevant it is. And you want to use that. You also want to highlight any certificates that you've taken to stay knowledgeable within the industry, or any organizations that you've used to stay in the industry. And you also want to conclude by providing contact information and concluding that your strengths show why you are perfect for your job. Biography is a little different. It is written in third person, and you start with what your ultimate goal is. Then you give your educational background and work history to support your ultimate goal. And then you want to conclude that you are best for this job because it aligns with your ultimate goal. So this kind of separates and shows that, hey, because I have an ultimate goal, say that it's a marketing director, then I'm going to take this job a little bit more seriously, because while everybody else is looking just for a job, I'm looking to make this job a stepping stone into my career to hit my ultimate goal. This also helps by using an ultimate goal if you have been hopping around. So say that you have done a year in sales, and then you went to a year in forecasting. Then you went to a year in managing a budget for a project. So if you say, hey, my ultimate goal is to be a marketing director, then that makes sense why you have been bouncing around. So sometimes people will say, hey, you've been bouncing around, your resume doesn't look that great. Well, if you're kind of guiding the story and saying, this is why I've been doing it because I'm trying to reach this, then when you get in person, you could say, I'm trying to reach this goal within the next 10 years, next 5 years. So this is why I'm doing it, and I'm moving on a fast pace. If you are in charge of your story and you're selling it and you are having more receipts and facts to prove it, it's going to be an easy sale. So your homework is to create a cover letter, create a biography, and to create 3 industry-specific cover letters or biographies. So if you haven't noticed, I have included in this chapter a biography and a cover letter that I have written, and it's in a Word document so that you can completely edit it however you need. Take out my information, put in your information, or start completely over, but use this as a guide. This is what I have used. So first you're going to see an example of a cover letter. And I'm going to show you my cover letter is still kind of written in that biography stance because it works for me and I've used it. So it is in first person and it does address the receiver and does all of the specifics. But when we get into the meat of it, I have added a lot of information. So I have changed the font a little bit, but use the font to your benefit. If you have a lot of information, lower the font a little bit. If you don't have a lot of information, increase the font. And add some imagery to make it pretty and stand out. It takes up some of the space so that it doesn't look like you don't have a lot. It looks like you've done it on purpose. So for me, I had a lot of information and I didn't want to take a lot of it out, so I didn't. But you have that to look at. You also have my biography, and this is exactly what I used in 2014 to get a position that I got in 2015. And also, I Googled a sample cover letter, and Monster came up, and so I wanted to show you guys that this is a sample cover letter. So I also want to encourage you guys to use Google as your friend. You just need to Google sample cover letters or even sample biographies, and stuff will pop up. So I want to encourage you to show that if you are in a bind and someone responds to you and you need to create something within 24 hours, Google is your friend. Or you can use one of my templates that you have already given to you. You can email me for feedback on your cover letter, or you can copy and paste your cover letter and put it in either our Facebook group, the Blue Boss group, or Melanin Business, and we will be happy to assist you and get you on the right path.